welcome back to another episode of the Canon where we bring you the latest in superhero and comic book movie news. I'm your host Terry, and today is a Keep It a Sweep It episode. So first up, we got Warner Brothers pushing out a new Green Lantern movie. David S. Goyer has brought in write and produced the movie. He also wrote BVS and he wrote Bill. So I'm going to sweep this one just because I'm a big fan of Green Lantern. Most of my adult life, Green Lantern is my favorite hero. And I've always liked the succession of the Earth Green Lanterns. Once they brought in Guy Gardner and started doing multiple Earth Lanterns, I wasn't really into that. So this movie is being pitched as a lethal weapon in space where they want John Stewart and Hal Jordan to both be Green Lanterns. And I don't really care for that much. I do think it should just be Hal Jordan. I don't care which way they do it, where Hal's the older guy and John's the young guy, or the opposite way. I don't like it. I just really think instead of trying to copy someone else's comedic formula, it should just be a Green Lantern movie. I'm excited that they're pushing forward with it, but I will have to sweep the idea of what they want it to be. But sticking within DC world, our next topic is going to be a Justice League image that was released. This came from a magazine talking about the top movies of 2017, and Justice League was on that list. They gave us a new image, and I'm keeping it. It's a real exciting image. It's what you want to see. It's still weird without Green Lantern or Superman, but everybody else looks good. I'm starting to come around on the Flash's costume, even though it's more metallic. I'm starting to be okay with it. Cyborg, I'm not there yet. He seems a little sleek like Terminator instead of more half human, half machine, big robotic build. So I'm not super excited on how he looks, but I'm excited about Ray Fisher. He looks like he loves playing Cyborg, so I can't wait to see what he does. And Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I think he's going to shock everyone. I really like the direction they're going with him. So DC needs some good news, so pretty excited about that. So our next bit of news, we got Woody Harrelson is confirmed to be in the cast of young Han Solo. Now last week they were talking about him looking at a part, but now it's official. He will be the mentor for Han Solo. I'm going to sweep this news just because, and lightly sweep it. I really like Woody Harrelson. I think lately he's been up in the dramatic roles, but he can do comedy. That's where he comes from. So bringing in talent is great, but I never wanted, a young Han Solo movie, and I don't think it's necessary. And then but on top of that, I don't know if I like the idea of him having a mentor. I always thought he was a self-made man. He kind of did things on his own. So him having a mentor, I don't know exactly how I feel about that. But Woody Harrelson himself, paired with Donald Glover, and I think Alden Ehrenreich will be alright. It's interesting, but overall not something I'm super excited about. But looking at the Star Wars world, we're talking about Star Wars Episode 8. Rian Johnson, the director, recently revealed that the movie will basically focus around the relationship between Rey and Luke Skywalker and how Luke got to the island or the planet he was at, what he's going to do next. And for that, I'm going to also lightly sweep it. I felt like this next story needed to be more so about Rey and then Kylo. So if you had an arc A and an arc B, I felt like Kylo should have been B. And it looks like we're going to get more Luke. And for me, I just want to move on. Like, I know that they're important figures, and the original trilogy was the Skywalker story and all that. But I think we should focus more on the new characters. Of course, we're going to see Rey, but I think the next part should have been Kylo. Now, I'm sure he'll be in it, and we'll see more of him. But it seems the bulk of this is going to be focused on Luke and Rey. And I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. I just kind of want us to, follow on with the new characters and let the old characters play support. Because even in Force Awakens, it was introducing a lot. But there's a good chunk on Han Solo. And this, the original 3, it seems like, is the two, or the main story that they're trying to stick with. and it's like, okay, it's time to let go. And unfortunately, speaking of letting go, it is also revealed that Disney will not do a CGI Leia, kind of like Rogue One, where they did digital makeup. They discussed with the director about what they wanted to do after the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher. And while they didn't give all the details, they just said they won't be doing a CGI character. So it seems like they might write her out of episode 9. And for that, I would keep it because I don't think you need to force it. There was talks that Carrie Fisher had a big role in episode 9, but she's no longer with us. Unfortunately, we shouldn't do too much with this new digital technology to try to force her in the movie. So I'm glad they're not doing that route. Now, that doesn't mean she's not going to be in episode 9 because they could recast her, but that to me is the bigger sin because that would just start a whole different thing, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. So we'll have to stay tuned and see what they do. Alright, our next bit of news is in the X-Men world, where James McAvoy has been confirmed to be returning as Professor Charles Xavier for the new Mutants movie. And I'm sweeping that. I'm sweeping it so hard, I can't sweep it fast and hard enough. The X-Men universe, how lovely it was when it started. It kicked off the superhero craze. It has gone completely off the rails with its timeline. We got Logan coming out, which is the future again, but this time it's Patrick Stewart's Professor X. And then not too long after that, you want to bring McAvoy back, and then I guess it's the 90s or the 2000s. Either way, X-Men, the original, came out in like 2000, 2001. And that was Patrick Stewart. So you want me to believe James McAvoy is the same? No, it's messed up. And I don't want a New Mutants to start with. So the fact that you're bringing McAvoy back, but Fassbender might not come back as Magneto, Jennifer Lawrence might not be back as Mystique, and then it's like, well, do we use the same Cyclops and guys that we used before, or do we not use them? And it's all getting muddy. I think they need to just straight reboot this after Logan, reset every last person, even the new kids, because if you bring in the new Jean Grey and Cyclops from X-Men Apocalypse, we're going to be like, well, why do they have a different Professor X? So reset it all, just clean house, do it over, and that would be probably what I would say is the best step, because right now it's just too much. Alright, one guy that was in the X-Men universe, Peter Dinklage, he played Trask in X-Men Days of Future Past. It seems that he is now in talks to have a role in Infinity Wars. I'm going to sweep it just because I'm not ready for people to play for different teams right now. There's Team Marvel, Team Fox, Team DC. I'm not ready for players to be switching. And I think it is a problem that we'll get to down the line with these cinematic movies, cinematic universes. But eventually these actors and actresses will say, I'm done playing this character, or the story's done, or whatever. I want to play something new and challenging. They can do different movies, but if they want to do a different comic book movie, they might try to switch, roles to a different team, and that's cool for them. But for me, I'm not ready for them to say, hey, Hugh Jackman is Hal Jordan. I'm not ready for all that. So I have to sweep it for right now. Trask was a small role, and he might be doing a voiceover or a motion capture, whether it's MODOK or it's the Watcher. So that's smart. He isn't a big player, but either way, I'm just not ready for that at this moment. So I have to sweep it, even though slightly. Yes, just stick with your team on Team Fox. Alright, our next news comes within the Deadpool world. Speaking of Fox, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, and Colossus will be returning to Deadpool 2. I'm going to keep that. I think it's, no-brainer. The writers decided to keep them. Why not? I think they're kind of synonymous with Deadpool. The chemistry was great. The comedy was great. So, you bring them back. And I think eventually we're going to see a larger connection with the X-Men. We know Cable is coming, and X-Force might be down the line. Who knows? But Fox isn't dumb. These are their properties. They're not going to leave Deadpool in his own world. One way or another, we're going to get a larger connection to the X-Men. So I think you have to have Colossus and Negasonic there because that was kind of the bridge in the first movie. And as we grow on, we definitely have to see more of them. So definitely going to keep that. Our last bit of news for today is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, talking about his meeting with Warner Brothers about Shazam and how happy he is and how he's excited for the future because the tonal shift in DC movies are focusing on hope, optimism, and fun. And I am sweeping it. Gotta get it out of here. The whole Warner Brothers switching up the mentality is making me sick to my stomach. I just can't stand how Warner Brothers is ruining this universe. Everybody, all the fanboys want to fight. Marvel wants to say DC sucks. DC doesn't suck. They have some of the greatest heroes. However, in the movie world, Marvel has Disney, and DC has Warner Brothers. And so Warner Brothers as a studio is not helping DC with their indecisiveness and their reactionary stuff. They're really putting their hands in it too much because they stood back and said, hey, all these people said our movies was dark. That must be a problem. Let's go opposite and we'll get more money. That's not the way it works. It's kind of like football or any other sports. When they fire a coach or a GM, they always want to go complete extreme opposite of the last person, thinking like, oh, that's going to work. You got to realize there's a happy medium. And your tone doesn't matter as much as your execution. I, for one, like most of DC movies a lot. But the way they execute the stories can be better. The way they convey what they're trying to convey to the audience could be better. And so it's not necessarily the tone that is the problem. It's the execution. And Warner Brothers needs to be smart enough to see that. So right now it doesn't sound good. It sounds like this whole we're positive train is taking off and no one can stop it. But I'm hoping for good things. I love Shazam. He's my favorite hero now. I love The Rock as Black Adam. And that movie can be more fun than others. I have no problem. But if DC's sitting there telling them how they're just changing everything, just the idea that gives me a headache. So I definitely am going to have to sweep it. Alright, so that is the show for today. Please hit the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the news. Like, subscribe, do all those things. And yes, it's a new year, new canon. Looks a little different, less production, I know. But we're still out here. And if you heard it here today, it's official canon.